Stop wasting power. Master the forehand short ball with this simple trick. Hello everyone, I am Yana. Today I will share a technique for the forehand short ball. I think the forehand short ball is a small ball technique that focuses on finesse. So this technique can often be improved through certain skills and can greatly enhance our technique. Sometimes the methods we use may be incorrect, might be counterproductive. So I want to share today the technique for the forehand short ball and the specific key points to pay attention to. First, for the forehand short ball, I think if you're right-handed, your right leg should be forward. And if you're left-handed, it should be your left leg. Is very crucial. First, you need to position yourself here. Essentially, you can say that the ball is, if your foot is already inside this area. Similarly, if you're too far from the ball, if your body is too far from the ball, you also definitely won't be able to generate power. You need to be within a range that your body can control. This place is excellent for generating power. In fact, the forehand short ball requires quickness and concentration. That's completely unnecessary. The key is a small motion with focus. It's somewhat like when we first start learning table tennis. The forehand stroke should be compact. Then find the right point to initiate the ball. If it's sometimes too quick, you definitely won't be able to concentrate on this shot. Sometimes, if you are too slow, you might lose that relative high point, and the risk you take will be quite significant. So it's crucial to pay attention. I believe the position of your same side leg is very important. First, you need to get into a very suitable stance. Also, be mindful when making your selection. The rhythm and timing of your jump for the ball must be precise. Many times, if you don't seize the most opportune moment, you may end up missing a great opportunity. Then we will use another method to handle this ball. Let's demonstrate it. Actually, it's a very clever technique. But we need to find the highest point after the ball bounces. Then we will make an adjustment. The movement doesn't need to be large, just a clever technique. But you must ensure to position yourself well, including the flick. For the flick, you need to aim towards the outside of the ball. Leave a little distance. If you stand too upright, you won't be able to execute a straight shot from this position. To generate power in that direction, for diagonal shots, you can stand pretty much like this. But for straight shots, you need to adjust a little. When you can execute both techniques very well, there will be times in a match when you can fake your opponent. In those situations, I might take a slightly larger step. Because I can aim for both lines in that direction. This is the opponent's judgment and how to handle the ball below. There is also a significant challenge in the connection. For example, in this position, I can execute a diagonal shot. Then, in this position, I can also perform a straight shot. I can also make a diagonal shot. The difficulty for the opponent to judge will increase. When hitting straight and diagonal shots, there are three main points to focus on. First, the leg must rise to the appropriate position. Second, it's important to find the right point to take off for the ball. There's no need for excessive extra movements or overly complicated preparations. It's actually a very simple and focused action, a very nimble little move. Hello everyone, in this episode we will explain a technique called half-out. Actually, many people have been asking about this. What exactly is half-out and how do we execute it? Today, we will explain it thoroughly from start to finish. So, what is half-out? It's a short ball that bounces on the table and then bounces 2 or more times. All short balls, whether you push, flick, or return them, are part of the short game. This all counts as part of the short game. Half out simply means it doesn't bounce much after hitting the table, but actually, it has already been released. As long as it is released, our athletes can already start their offensive. This is called half-released. Long balls can be attacked directly when they come down. Half-release means your hand needs to be very close to the table, whether it's in the middle, forehand, or side stance. And also our so-called small triangle. The small triangle on the right side is located here. The forehand small triangle and the backhand small triangle can be on both sides. This small triangle indicates this area. This means that everyone is in a situation involving short balls and being half a meter off the table. Perhaps someone didn't handle the short ball well. They couldn't control the ball properly and failed to return it. A standard short ball should look like this. That's why the ball turned out like this. This is what we commonly refer to as a semi-out ball. It's different from a regular push that goes straight to the baseline. Because in a semi-out ball, the second bounce only slightly goes out. However, it definitely hasn't touched the table. So we can all refer to it as a semi-out ball. Whether it's a semi-out ball from the small triangle or a semi-out ball from both small triangle positions. This is the half-out position in the middle. These positions in the center of the table are all called half-out. This is different from your kind of long push. Actually, it's simple. We can categorize this into 3 types. There are 3 key differences between short half-outs and long balls. So, half-out can actually be divided into several methods. I've mentioned before that half-out can be categorized as either adjustment or forward thrust. Adjustment means slowing down the rhythm. Then, you should hold the ball a bit longer with your hand. This is actually a method I would recommend everyone to choose. Because this half step is indeed challenging, after making a clear judgment, you need to take action. It's not easy to seize such a great opportunity. The first point is to apply force to rush in, which is safer. When rotating and controlling the landing point, you can manage it better. If some players have stronger abilities, they can choose to rush in at the peak of the ball's rise. That is, at the moment of jumping, find that point to charge forward directly. Of course, this varies from player to player. It ultimately depends on everyone's choice.
Read more about table tennis on my blog, PingSunday.com. Get free ebook and coaching advices. See you in the next video.